I'm Zak Ketterson, and I am a 2026 Olympian in cross-country skiing. And for those of you who know a little bit about the sport and endurance training in general, you know that fueling is an important aspect of my preparation, and that is mostly coming down to carbohydrates, and a lot of that is actually coming in the form of sports nutrition products such as gels, drink mixes, recovery shakes, and then just what I eat throughout the day. I'm going to take you guys along with me to try to meet the scientific guidelines in terms of how many grams of carbs per hour I should be eating. There has been a ton of research in recent years into how many grams of carbs we need during our training, and it is of course based on both intensity and duration. So I have here a chart directly from the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, and it says, for any training session under 30 minutes, that is easy. We do not need any form of additional carbohydrates. For sessions lasting 1 to 2 hours, we would like to have at least 30 grams per hour. For sessions lasting between 2 and 3 hours, we bump that up to 60 grams of carbohydrates per hour. And then for sessions 2.5 hours or longer, we can go all the way up to 90 grams of carbs per hour. Fueling for a 3-hour easy session. Goal, 240 grams of carbohydrates. So I am living and training in Oslo, Norway, which is one of the world's most expensive places when it comes to food. So if I can do it here for a budget, then you can do it anywhere. We are going to start with what I put in my water belt drink mix. I'm going to use simple table sugar, and this scooper is 31 grams. So I know that 31 grams of sugar is 31 grams of carbs. We're going to start with 3 scoops of the sugar, which would bring me to about 90 grams. So now we have around 90 grams of carbs in our water belt. You gotta shake this stuff up good or it'll clump at the bottom, but it does mix if you really shake it. Now I still need to come up with around 100 grams of carbs for the rest of my needs. So I will use simple gummy candy. This is called Sagmen, and it is your average gummy candy that you buy in Norway. If we look at the nutrition facts here, we see that 100 grams of this product has 76 grams of carbohydrates. Here we have 8 gummies, which is 50 grams, which means that every 8 gummies has around 38 grams of carbs. So that means that I probably want to eat around 6 to 8 of these every 30 minutes. And if I combine that with the sugar, then I'm going to be easily meeting my carb needs on a 3-hour workout. This entire bag only cost 18 kroner, which is the same as $1.80 in US dollars. And the entire bag contains 152 grams of carbohydrates, or 1.18 cents per gram of carbohydrate. The sugar costs 36.9 kroner, or $3.70, with the entire 1 kilogram bag containing 1,000 grams of carbohydrates for a total of 0.038 cents per gram of carbs. And in total, the 264 grams of carbs we used on our 3-hour workout cost $2.37. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, and perhaps even running to the comments section to say, wait a second, Zach, I thought if we are having 90 grams of carbohydrates per hour, we need to have an optimal 2-to-1 fructose to glucose ratio. To which I would say, it does not matter, I promise you. I have been doing this fueling setup now for several years, and my stomach has never once had a single issue. And in my honest opinion, don't think it matters unless you are pushing crazy amount of carbohydrates like 120 or 150 grams of carbs per hour, which, to be honest, you probably never need to do that unless you are going for a world record on a 6-hour bike stage race. That means literally the only other difference between my mix and the expensive stuff is electrolytes, to which you literally just add some salt. A pinch of salt will be enough, or a little bit more if you are training in a really sweaty environment. While we're on the topic of the expensive stuff, I don't want to make it seem like I am trying to talk down on that stuff because it's scientifically optimal. It makes it really easy because you just go to the store, buy the packages, and put 2 and 2 together on a race day, or if you are doing a super important, American Berkey, thing like that. I would say use the expensive stuff, don't feel bad about it, but the fact of the matter is that it's really expensive. For this next part, we're going to show just how much more expensive it is by calculating how much fueling with the same amount of carbs with leading brands would cost you. Fueling for a 3-hour easy session. Expensive edition. We are going to try to do this in a similar way that splits the carbohydrates between drink mix and gels. And for that, we are going to go with the Morton 320 gel, which contains 80 grams of carbohydrates. And for the rest, we are going to use Morton 100 gels, which have 25 grams of carbs per gel. The rest of the math is quite simple. We take our 80 grams of carbs from the drink mix and then a total of 7 gels for 175 grams of carbs and a grand total of 255 grams of carbs during our workout. With the drink mix being $4 and each of the 7 gels also costing $4, that brings our grand total to $32. And yes, you can get a small bulk discount by buying more than one at a time, but the cheapest you can do is still like $29. For reference, the cheap edition cost $2.37, and you can see how this price difference starts to become problematic when you're like me and you train 4 or 5 hours a day. The cost of each 2 or 3 hour session cannot be $20 to $30, or else I would need a full-time job just to buy my nutrition products. And it's really that simple. And again, I'm not trying to hate on the real name brand products, but I'm simply trying to illustrate that if we actually want to try to hit the scientific recommendations using a lot of these expensive products, the price simply becomes untenable. So it's better to do it in a slightly less optimal way that you can actually afford, rather than spending like $500 a week on your nutrition, or worse yet, being so intimidated by the prices that you choose to not bother with it at all. That's it. Please subscribe if you found this information useful, and follow along with me to see how this nutrition plan works in my daily training and racing as I prepare for the World Cup circuit in the winter. Thanks for watching, guys, and happy fueling.